studios right here in Italy Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. We're also live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. If you do not have the Nigeria Info FM mobile application, go download it. And when you go to your mobile app store, you'll see the Nigeria Info app with the NI, the letter NI. That is the Nigeria Info FM logo. Well, let's get into our conversation for tonight. Welcome, Lagos. Good evening. For those of you who are listening to us from outside of the country and within the country, welcome to Hard Facts. On the big hard fact today, we're talking insecurity in the country. Every single week, Nigerians are dying. Farmers in Plateau, commuters in Zamfara, school children in Kaduna, gone. Soldiers too. Yet the government tell us that they're winning the war on terror. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai claims that the government is actually paying bandits, a claim the National Security Advisor denies. But Katsina officials were recently seen on a video negotiating with gunmen, offering safe passage and concessions. Meanwhile, President Tinubu's 2025 budget sets aside 4.91 trillion naira for defense and security, one of the highest ever. But with this much money, why are Nigerians still being killed weekly? This evening, we connect the dots from Boko Haram under Goodluck Jonathan to Buhari's technical defeat to Tinubu's ballooning budgets, and we ask why insecurity is worse and not better. My guest is Honorable Rima Shawulu. He is a former member of the House of Representatives and one of the most vital voices on defense and national security. Honorable Rima, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this evening.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
Lovely. With my opening, you obviously know that there's so many things that Nigerians are questioning, especially the fact that every single day, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people are reportedly killed or kidnapped or displaced. Just yesterday, we heard about what happened in Kwara. The other day was in Kogi State, and the list is endless. How many more people have to die for the issue of insecurity to be dealt with? But let me start by the context in which this all is playing out, because now it has become a finger-pointing game where some people are saying, well, it's because you hate our government, that's why you think that we're politicizing the issue of insecurity. We hear lots of talk, but it's not matched by actions. Why are we where we are today, Honorable?
Yeah, one of the sad things about the security challenge that we have is that the government for a long time, not just this government, has been misrepresenting or mischaracterizing the nature and the context of the security challenge that we have in the country. We have brought about narratives that are helping us in our comfort zone, making us to behave like the ostrich that has its head in the sand and thinks that it is hidden, even though you could see that the head of the ostrich is actually the smallest part of its body. The fact that we are pretending we are not seeing does not mean that the problem is not there, and the problem, as we know, has been expanding very sadly. The mischaracterization of the security challenge that we have in the country is, in my opinion today, is the major reason why it is becoming virtually impossible to talk about an end date to the security challenge that we have in the country. Under the Buhari days, when he came in newly, one thought that he was going to pay attention to the security challenge, and we did say that maybe it was going to take 20 years to handle it. But so far, the situation has worsened. You understand that under Buhari, the situation went so badly that we had more people kidnapped in the northwest than the Chibok girls that were kidnapped in the Jonathan period. And the security situation, even from the time of President Jonathan, even before Jonathan, Nigerian leaders have looked at it as problems of one, you hear people say it is because of poverty, young people are poor. If you give them money or do something, there'll be no problem. And of course, the money that is given, we've had a lot of stories and complaints, and even people charged to court that a lot of the money, a significant part of the money that was voted for security was misused. Now, we now have a situation where today we have in Katsina and Zamfara state government officials negotiating on their own, local government officials with kidnappers and bandits and non-terrorists who go for these negotiation discussions with their weapons. Now, the implication of that is that they have conquered those communities because they pay tribute to those communities. And you clearly see, for those who are in the academic field and know the definitions that people have given for what you call a failed state, is that the government is unable to maintain peace, maintain control over its boundary. And the fact that non-state actors are sitting down with communities to negotiate and communities agreeing to pay tribute so that they, the bandits, will allow communities to farm shows that those communities are now in the firm grips of those violent non-state actors. Secondly, is also the fact that the loyalty or to the Nigerian state, which should be supreme, has now been strongly challenged. And thirdly, is the fact that those bandits, those terrorists, those kidnappers will stay in the areas where they have negotiated peace with communities and go to attack areas that have not negotiated with them. And those communities may discover that the government is nowhere to protect us. We better go to the people that will protect us. Now, your main question, why is this so? It's so because government has been approaching the problem very wrongly. Number one, if you even look at the current debate, people from the north, the states that are affected, believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not serious about the security challenge because he doesn't want elections to take place in those states. He simply wants to write the results for 2013. If you listen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's supporters, they will tell you that Northerners are creating this problem so that they will stop President Tinubu from winning the next election. Now, both sides are mischaracterizing the problem. Because they have mischaracterized the problem, they are not going to look at it dispassionately and look for solutions that will help the country. Recently, we've had an upscale in attacks by Boko Haram, and sadly, we've had the situation where the so-called bandits or the terrorists have extended far down to Kwara State. And the parts of Kwara State that they are simply means that they are very close to Oyo State, or perhaps even within Oyo State today. Now, the danger about it is that we are all ignoring the three things. The first one is that the Americans have warned publicly that these terrorists operating in northern Nigeria and the Sahel have links with terrorists, global terror groups who have their eyes on coastal Nigeria, that these people are working on being to be in control or have some significant influence in the coastal part of Nigeria to facilitate their illicit trade in drugs. As you know, terrorism today is financed largely by drugs. Terrorist groups around the world are now major traffickers of drugs from the Americas to Europe and other parts of the world. And they may very well find that it's easy for them to, well, because of the increased pressure from the Western countries, it might be easier for them to now have bases within Nigeria for which they can now send their illicit drugs to Europe. And so we are having a situation where these so-called terror groups, in my opinion, are not riffraffs or miscreants, some small boys that are just looking for money to take drugs and the rest of them. They are guided. They have some actors that are working on them, and some of these actors may actually be international actors. At the end of the day, the fact that we are not addressing this problem squarely will create more problems in Nigeria in the context of the fact that more territories of Nigeria may soon fall to these violent extremists who are bent on not just taking Nigeria, but using the resources that they have to execute their projects around the world.
You've made a lot of interesting points, but I want to push you further on the issue of international access. I just have a minute before I go on my first break. There are those I've had people on this show who have claimed that the US, the UK, France have a hand in some of the things that are happening within our borders that play out as terrorism or banditry, just because of what we have under the ground. For the likes of Zamfara and Plateau, it's the gold. And it's about a fight of mineral resources, just like what we see in the DRC. When we come back from this break, I'd like to get your thoughts on that. How true is this? Because on the one hand, they're saying they want to help us fight terror, but on the other hand, could they be the ones who are, instigating some of these acts of terrorism? We'll be right back. Lagos, if you're just joining us, we're talking on the Big Hat Fact about the insecurity in the country. My guest is a former member of the House of Representatives. Honorable Rima Shawulu joins us live via Zoom. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is Hard Facts. More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Happy birthday, Ogami! Now, wow. Oga, 73 years no dey show for your eyes, oh. You see, they look your phone with ordinary eyes, and it still dey sharp, all dey shine on top.
My pikin, sense no be so. Now Visionaries eye supplement. Now I dey drink every day.
Visionaries eye supplement.
Bam, sharp eyes not be by age. Visionaries eye supplement is made from natural ingredients and contains essential vitamins plus omega-3. Visionaries eye supplement is a product of Vitabiotics UK. Visionaries, let your eyes speak.
It's my dollar day. Hallelujah, it's my dollar day. Oh yeah.
Oh yes, your Naira card is now like dollars in your pockets, as you can now shop directly on stores like Amazon, eBay, Macy's, and many more in the USA, all with your Naira card. And here's the bigger news. With African Import-Export Solutions, you can now shop anywhere in the USA, completely tax-free. That means you save thousands shopping your favorite items like the latest phones, gadgets, electronics, fashion items, auto parts, and lots more. To learn how to save thousands and get your items delivered to you in just 3 to 5 business days, visit www.africanies.com or call 0700 800 7000 today. African Import-Export Solutions, making global shopping simple for Nigerians.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio.
My goodness. When did he grow up? That's it with kids, so.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Ideas that take off without wings. Insights that ripple beyond the shore. That's the power of marketing with Edge. So come celebrate excellence beyond borders in the 2025 Marketing Edge National Marketing Stakeholders Summit, virtual on the 25th September, and the Edge Awards on the 26th September at the Balmoral Event Hall, Sheraton Hotel, Ikeja. Our lead speakers are Baba Awokwetu, Consultant, Strategy, Marketing, Stragba, and Mr. Obia Sika, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture. And gracing the summit as panelists are Mr. Pritesh Raj, Chief Executive Officer, Laureus, Mrs. Victoria Biola Ajayi, GMD, TVC Communications, Mr. Femi Odubebi, Founder, Executive Producer, Zuri 24 Media and more. Marketing Edge Awards. Promoting the brand idea.
Okay, sandwich, fruits, and water. The new 33cl Nestle Pure Life Premium Drinking Water. Handy size for my little ones. No more half-finished bottles coming back home.
The new 33cl bottle. Big enough to refresh, small enough to finish. And thanks to our trusted 13-step quality process, every drop is refreshingly safe. Nestle Pure Life Premium Drinking Water. Source of hydration you can trust.
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. There's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Cadbury Caramel, Cadbury Coffee, Cadbury Buttermint. Sweet, smooth, and full of flavor. Whether you're chilling at home or on the move, there's a Cadbury candy for every mood.
Yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Ever wonder why Mamado oil makes some meals just unforgettable?
That's stew you made last week. I have been thinking about it every day.
Or why your taste buds can't forget Victoria's crunchy chicken.
Bestie, please tell me you made fried chicken today.
Or even why your children always want to play in Auntie Kemi's house.
Mommy, can we go to Auntie Kemi's house?
When it comes to delicious tasting meals, it's Mamador. Mamador oil is available in stores near you and also available in pocket-friendly sizes. Use Mamador oil today.
Ibuka capsule full brand. Anytime pen they around. If pen one show in power, 3 in 1 day. To knock and power. Ibuka pen for body, pen from fever. That's why I carry up always. Ibuka hammer pen away. Ibuka they buy me always. Ibuka they for you always.
After 3 days, if body no tranga, go see doctor. Na Shalina Healthcare Limited dem market am.
Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria tandagdiba with Ibuka.
My ions, please, can't get enough. My ions, please, give it to me now. It gon' rehydrate you, yeah. Replenish your ions with Pocari Sweat. Rehydrate you faster, easily observe. Pocari Sweat, give me some more. Pocari Sweat.
Remember how mom would wake up early, make us breakfast, iron our uniform?
We have to do something special for her.
Yes, so let's make this money fair.
Why wait? Reward your mom now with a trip to Zanzibar in the 2025 3 Crowns Milk Mom of the Year competition. Write a note with each letter of her name and submit with a picture of 16s or 2 refill pouches or 30 sachets on www.3crowns.com.ng or at our collection centers for your chance to win. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Omo, you dey find where you fit bet sharply and cash out anytime.
iLotBet dey here. Club iLotBet. Football.
E dey.
Withdrawal.
Na sharp sharp.
Odds wey dey burst brain. 100 million casino jackpot.
E choke.
Omo, your life fit change with iLotBet o. Bonus boku when you sign up. And iLotBet iBot AI dey to help you for predictions matter 247.
No dull o.
Sharply download the iLotBet app now or visit www.ilotbet.com. If you snooze, you lose. I play, I win. iLotBet. For 18 years and above, play responsibly.
Oh, the only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. Bana bada lokaci a wurin wanki. Viva mafi inganci. Ito da sakwa hidin netin yo mere Viva, chiri Viva. Maswa koko atomo renu do Viva. Viva, oh Viva. Ina some Viva. Opu yuiche Viva. Opero Viva titila. Viva.
Viva Plus detergent, a quality cleaning powder from Aspira.
Get ready, Lekki. Experience possibilities like never before. Daystar Christian Center, Lekki, is now at a new location. From 9 a.m. on Sunday, September 14, be part of possibilities at the Lekki Coliseum, Plot 14, Providence Street, off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Experience possibilities at the Lekki Center of Daystar. Daystar Christian Center, raising role models.
The National Summer Conference 2025 is here. Summer Conference will be held from 2nd to 4th October 2025, themed Strengthening Subnational Emergency Management for a Resilient Nigeria. DG of NEMA, Mrs. Zubair Omar, joins stakeholders from all 36 states and the FCT, including federal agencies, development partners, security institutions, and civil societies for 3 days of impactful discussions, simulations, and exhibitions. The opening ceremony takes place on day 1, Thursday, 2nd October, at the Balmoral Convention Center, Maryland, Lagos. The venue shifts to the Lagos State Emergency and Relief Rescue Camp, Igondo, Lagos, on the 3rd and 4th October for simulation exercises. A special guest of honor, Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Shawulu, Chief Host, the Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties, Honorable Benga Oyenride, and Host, Dr. Olufemi Damilola Oke Osanyitolu, Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA. Welcome to the National Summer Conference 2025.
In the cooking game, you need a winning game plan. I'm not just talking about your fresh ingredients, utensils, or cooking skills. I'm talking about your choice of seasoning. My game plan is incomplete without Maggi chicken flavor. Made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric, it's my game changer. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious, rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
Okay now, dependable insurance. After God, you are the next insurer. See as the boys the Allah. All the ladies the Allah. Ensure your car protection from accidents. Unforeseen loss, you can see them. Mistakes are meant to happen. If you don't jam the car, they'll jam yours. Will you beat them? Yes, you will get them arrested. Your plans for that day is affected. You waste your money, you waste energy. With AXA, you can be protected.
Get the protection that pays today. Call 0700 AXA Mansa to get a motor insurance that pays. AXA, know you can.
This is where the headlines meet the hot takes.
What are the feelings of people knowing that Fubara is set to return as governor of
We have crisis before, we have actions during, and definitely there will be some actions after.
Regulation of food prices, I think that some miracle is supposed to happen, and our magician is the president.
The farmers that you are giving directives to say you want to crash the full price, that not only farmers.
You know, some of these monies that we've continuously been taxed.
Like, seriously. Or they were just brought in by devil to come and make us suffer.
Kogi state government has lamented that youth take weapons and food to bandits.
Nigeria's investors who are in the are complaining. You are asking investors who are not in Nigeria to come and invest. Are you kidding me?
Stay with us on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts.
And it is on the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Today on the Big Hard Facts, we're taking a closer look at the fight against terror in Nigeria, especially under the Tinubu administration. Every single day, every headline that you read has one story about someone being killed, kidnapped, or shot at. And of course, bandits seem to be the ones behind it. What are governments at all levels doing? States governments, the federal government. What is the NSA doing? What are the security chiefs doing? What exactly have we done that shows that we are really indeed trying to win this war against insecurity? Well, my guest is a former member of the National Assembly, House of Representatives member, Honorable Rima Shawulu, I beg your pardon. He has been with us via Zoom before we went on that break. Honorable, I did ask a question before we went on the break, talking about international, other countries, obviously. There are people who have continuously pointed fingers at foreign governments and foreign powers for having a hand, maybe directly or indirectly, in some of the issues of banditry in the northern parts of the country. What's your take on that?
Yeah, you recall that recently when President Donald J. Trump got back to power and decided to disband the USAID, there were some wild allegations, including the one that said that the US government was responsible for Boko Haram. Well, a lot of those things are part of conspiracy theories that comfort our leaders and stop them from thinking and taking responsibility for what is happening within Africa. Having said that, we must, of course, admit the fact that the actions of the government of United States, especially the overthrow of bombing and overthrow of the government in Libya, of course, and the subsequent flow of arms into West Africa may have fuel or given ammunition to people who do that. We can argue, and there will be no that the actions of the governments of the Western countries are not favorable to Africa, and that they may have weakened African countries. But we can talk about IMF policies and programs such as the structural adjustment programs that have weakened African states in the 80s and 90s, and cut jobs and so forth. You can talk about their pressure to remove fuel subsidy, fuel the naira and so forth, and fuel the floating or so-called depreciation of the value of the currencies and so forth. But those things are beside the point, and they do not actually help us understand or help us to address the challenge that we have. Now, where I said that is, Africans like looking for excuses to explain the very poor state that Africa is in today. You hear people, and of course, there have been intellectuals like Dr. Walter Rodney, who wrote books such as How Europe that developed Africa, and these books seem to have become provided comfort for our leaders to blame outsiders, to blame external factors for the problems that we have, and not for them to take responsibility. For instance, they tell you that the Europeans or Americans enslaved Africans, they colonized Africa and so forth. And my response is very simple. In the first place, the Africans were sold by fellow Africans to the white man. The white man did not by himself alone come into Africa and started catching people to take out to enslave. If you talk about the things like why that Africa was colonized, you also have to argue why is it that we in Africa did not go to colonize Europe. It was Europe that came to colonize us. That shows that we have a problem. And in any case, we are not the only countries in the world that were colonized and are still in problems. What I mean is that if you look at China, one of the biggest economies and the biggest threat today that the United States has, was colonized for hundreds of years, brutalized by several other countries. And in 40 years, the leadership in China decided to do something about it, and a change came, a change that has positively affected China today, to the extent that we are talking about China coming in to colonize Africa for a second time. So the responsibility is not in what is happening in Europe, it is what is happening in Nigeria. And let me list a few of them that have come to my mind. In the first place, I think that the states in Africa are very weak and fragile, weak governance. You have strong people, strong leaders who are stronger than leaders in the United States or in Europe, who can take life and death decisions without looking at all the factors that matter. And this type of leadership create corruption, electoral fraud, a justice system that is flawed, and they push groups, marginalized groups, and so forth. And these marginalized groups that exist in almost every jurisdiction within the country and most parts of Africa are now easily recruited by people who have agenda and give them to, and they now go ahead to carry out these agendas as if they are carrying out survival for themselves. As a result of this, strong leaders and weak institutions and weak governance structure, you have youths that are generally unemployed and the shortage of food. People cannot go to school. Like in parts of the north, what you have millions and millions of young people that cannot go to school, are unable to go to school. A friend told me, former ASU president, Dr. Professor Abdullahi Kano told me some years ago of how in Sokoto he witnessed how a young boy asked his father, then the anti-malaria drugs were just 500 naira, and his father could not get 500 naira to buy him anti-malaria drugs. And the boy asked his father, Father, is there nobody that you can borrow 500 naira to buy me these anti-malaria drugs? Yes, the father did not have, and the boy died. And because this governance structure that we have is such that is weak, there are no procedures and no institutions. You have a lot of ethnic and religious tensions. That's why you have groups like Boko Haram, you have ISIL and Al-Shabaab in Africa, and all these groups have their roots in some religious identities. And you have issues of in Nigeria, Christian-Muslim divides, and you have political elites that easily divide them. You have the current political situation where the debate is whether the presidency should go to the South or the North. The North has had its time for the South. You will recall that there was a time it was saying it was the turn of the North, it's the turn of the South. And nobody is talking about the bandits that have extended their power down to Kogi, down to the forests of Kogi, and nobody knows whether they are not in, as Afenifere leaders have been saying, whether these bandits are not in other parts of the southwest and south and southeast. And so,
Honorable, I'm so sorry to cut in. I just want to, so that I don't forget this question. There seems to be a push and pull, from, they're saying, oh, the president, the buck stops at the foot of Mr. President, but the governors do have a role to play. And when you talk about the fact that the cost of living is high, there's no good governance, people are poor, but the governors are rich. They're flying private jets. They're shopping in Paris and France, and they're living la vida loca at the expense of the people. But everyone's accusing the president, and I'm not in any way trying to absolve the president of his responsibilities because he does have them. But why are we not looking at these governors who seem to be enriching themselves at the expense of the people in their state?
Well, I agree with you. I want to quote what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said some years ago. He told Jonathan that Jonathan should stop talking about the governance, that the buck stops on his table. Isn't it fair to ask him whether the buck has moved from his table to the table of the governors? Having said that, it is a fact that the governors have a lot of money and they are doing a lot of things that are not proper. But who has the power to prosecute the governors? The governors that have been jailed before, governors that are in court, are being prosecuted by the EFCC. It's a federal agency. It's the ICPC is a federal agency. The police is a federal agency. And you cannot, therefore, leave the president who sets the tune and go for the governors. I do agree that the governors have a role to play, but the president cannot, at this time, remove the buck from his table and push it to the governors. The buck stops at his table. If the governors are not doing things that they should do the president just suspended imposed a state of emergency and suspended the governor of Rivers State, and whom he just called back. That means that the president has power to do more than he's saying he can do. He should use the powers that he has, his control of the police, his control of the military, his control of the of the apparatus of or investigative agencies. He can use them. And of course, he wielded the big stick against Governor Sim Fubara. And I believe that stick that he wielded against Fubara, he still has it in his hand. So we cannot be talking about the states. The buck stops on the table of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and it will be a mistake to assume that governors who we do know do not control the police and cannot control the army will be now asked to fill in the gap. It just can't work. We cannot shift the goalposts at this stage.
Okay, I have just 5 minutes on the clock, and I want to bring Lagosians and Nigerians into this conversation because it affects us all. And I'm sure they have very interesting questions. Because we have very little time, we're going to take 30 seconds of questions, so please think deeply about your questions before you call in. 0201-277-0993. Do you agree with my guest? The ball stops at Mr. President's table, or do you think that the governors need to do better in, making the lives of the people in their state a lot more livable? Hence, they would not have these militants, invading their states. What exactly are your thoughts? We'd like to hear it. 0201-277-0993, 0201-465-7190. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp. It's 0809-5975-805. You could also join the conversation on X. Use the hashtag HardFacts. We would like to hear from you. Join the conversation. If you are listening to us from outside of the country, you can call on WhatsApp. It's 0809-5975-805. While we wait to take the calls, let's read some messages that are coming in right now. Someone here says, only the president can significantly win this terrorist war against Nigeria. The president, it's a president that isn't hell-bent on winning the second term election. Oh, he's saying the only person that can win this war is not someone who wants a second term or having his political party lose elections. A president that doesn't mind stepping on toes and standing on his way to crush his enemies. Obina, thank you very much for your message.
In an interview, Zoom.
All right, this one here says, your message is so long. I'm going to read just a little bit of it. Will you agree with me regarding insecurity in Nigeria, particularly in the north, that the government is not interested in solving the issue? We know that if the government wants to solve the insecurity, it wouldn't have lingered this long. I want to ask you a question. Where did they pick up Sunday Igboho from? Where did they pick up Nnamdi Kanu from? But terrorists in the north have never been chased out from the Nigerian territory. During the time of Crocodile Smile, Python Dance, etc., did you hear any in the north? If we say there is double standard in terrorism fight in Nigeria, you guys in the media will label us as conspiracy theorists or propagandists, but you never want to talk about these imbalances. Anyway, we'll keep having our way until we are ready to stop being politically correct. The terrorists will continue to have their way and we'll continue to have something to talk about. Okay. Thank you very much for that very long message. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening to the phone lines, but if you're trying to call us and you can't get through, please send us a WhatsApp message, 0809 5975 805. That's 0809 5975 805. Go ahead and join the conversation. If you're trying to call us, it doesn't get through, call 0201 465 7190. We're talking insecurity and we'd like to hear your thoughts on the issue. Don't forget, you can join the conversation on our Facebook Live and on YouTube. Post your comments on our live stream. Honorable, before I let you go, because our time is gone. We have we seem to talk about the fact that the army or military gets a huge package, especially in this budget. But then we see soldiers complaining that the war in itself has been politicized. They themselves don't get access to the funds that is supposed to help them to win the war. We're also witnessing that they're being killed every other day. What do you have to say about that? Because these are the people who are, most recently, a lot more people are refusing to join the army. How do we deal with that going forward? I have just a minute before we go.
Yeah, I doubt whether the information you have that people are refusing to enter the army is correct.
We did a little poll here, and we asked if they were given an opportunity to join the army, if they would. Many people said no.
No, actually, the army is unable to accept the number of people that desire to enter the army. While I was in the House of Reps as chairman of the House Committee on the Army, we had a situation where you could the army could only recruit less than 10% of those who applied because there were no spaces. So that is not very correct. Yes, the soldiers who are complaining, a lot of them might not even know what they are talking about because the fight is a big fight. They don't have a bird's view. They only know what is happening in their locations. And if they are talking about what is happening in their locations, they have their facts correct. But about the overall picture is a recruit or a captain, even a captain or a major or a lieutenant colonel or even a brigadier who is commanding somewhere, he may not be able to have a full picture of what is happening. And so a lot of those things that are coming at me actually be localized problems that they are talking about, not general problems. Having said that, we have to note the fact that, and I did say it in several occasions, the Nigerian military is too small for our size. In terms of number, it's too small for the nature of the problems that we have today.
Okay. I think I have to bring you back to talk about this military issue and policing, because that's also an issue. The fact that the army is having more people to join them is a great thing. But Honorable Rima Shawulu is a former member of the House of Representatives representing Taraba State. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Our time is fast spent and we have to go. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Lagos, that's the show. I have to go. See you tomorrow on Hard Facts Awards. Bye-bye.
See, everybody with him own wahala. Every day comes with its own version of challenges, and you have to be ready to face them, because only then can you move on to the next. That's why I never miss my breakfast.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.